Alright, what's going on everyone? Dan the Glassman here, and we are about to go live for the last time of 2022, guys. So this is going to be pretty fun. I'm just going to play around today. We're not going to really work on anything too specific here. Gosh, I can't believe it's already the end of the year. It's the last day of the year of 2022. It's almost over, you guys. I don't know what that means. It doesn't mean that time is like stopping or anything. All it means is that tomorrow is just tomorrow. Another day. It's just the first day of the new year on this Gregorian calendar here of a 12-month cycle. The calendar that we no longer follow the moon cycles anymore. We used to, I believe, have 13 moon cycles in a month, and now we go to 12. Apparently there's another zodiac constellation, Ophiuchus. But not too many people know about all that. I'm just cleaning up my didymiums here. And get them nice and clean here using the Norwex Opti cloth, as always. Yeah, those are pretty dirty there. Haven't wiped them in a while. Alright, so I was just online on YouTube, which is where we're at here, and I was watching a video with Eusheen. I don't know if you guys know Eusheen. He's a glass blower, amazing glass artist, and I'm just watching some of his stuff. It's like, man, that looks pretty awesome and really complex. I don't know if that's anything I could really do. You know, he makes some beautiful glass. And so I was thinking, you know what? Let's just play around and see if we can do anything. Anything kind of similar. I'm not going to use this here. I don't know. He is working on some really large piece of glass, and I don't really have the torch size. I don't know if I can really melt off any tubing that big with this torch. So I was thinking maybe I'll just go miniature with this and just go real small. Which I'm like, okay, we're going to go even smaller than Eusheen. That's going to be kind of ridiculous. I mean, is that even possible? Alright, well, today, for the first time ever, I think, I don't know if I've ever done this for you guys, we're going to actually be blowing glass. We're going to be making this happen, guys. Try to. I don't know if this tube's going to work out. Getting some cracking already. Yeah, this glass is no bueno. Let's get rid of that. I'm like, huh. That glass is totally just cracked and shattered. Let's see if we can get an actual tube and try to cut it. I don't know if we can make this happen or not, guys. I have not actually done any tubing in a long time. Do I have tubing? I've got that tube. I'm like, I know we could do some solid work. I don't know if it'll be the same. That's what I was thinking, like maybe we just do this in solid glass instead of tubing. That's what I was kind of thinking. But now, I don't know. So we could take this glass here, put it onto a tube, and we could just use this one here. It's been a while since I've done any actual glass blowing. Most of it's just been sculpting, sculpt work and stuff. Let's see, do I have tubing ready? I don't know if I'm even prepared to do anything like this, guys. I was just thinking it would be a lot of fun to use this tube. That'd be alright. So this is the Norwex OptiCloth here. I highly recommend it. I haven't used this glass in a long time, and as you can see, it's real dirty. But then this cloth right here, it's so nice. It really does an excellent job. All right, let's try this again. So we'll go with a smaller flame here and try not to crack the glass on you again. I kind of had a feeling that one was going to snap because it had a little bit of a weird mark on the top. And by putting it directly in the flame like that, I had a feeling it was going to get shocked. It was going to get that thermal shock. I was like, oh, well, oh well. It happens from time to time. Not a big deal. Alright, so we're going to change up the angle here just a little bit so you can actually see a little bit more of the work here in the process. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this thin so we can just snap it right here. And then I can go in and open this up. I just use the reamer. We heat it up and we just open it up some. So right now I'm just spinning the tube around and we're going to flare this open. And then we just flare that open just a little bit like that. You know, I'm going to flare it just a little bit more actually. Alright, so you see a little bit flared open there. Now, I'm going to clean this up a little bit here. You can see how it's all broken. So we're going to clean this up. Hopefully it doesn't crack open anymore. We'll try to be real gentle with this. Alright, I think we got it. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring up the heat just a little bit. It's going to be interesting to try to melt this down for a minute. This may take a while. I don't have a bigger a bigger flame. I don't have my oxygen filled up. I don't know if this is even going to be possible. I don't know if the oxygen concentrator has enough oxygen to actually get a hot enough flame to work this tube here. Pretty big. That's what I was thinking. I might just make a marble out of solid rod. But let's just see. Let's see what limit I can push this oxygen concentrator to. What can I really do with this small torch on the top here? It's a 12-hole point torch on a, it's a Nortel major burner or a torch with a National 3A on top. Basically, it's a surface torch on the bottom with the premix on top. Alright, so what I've done is I've heated up the tube, and then we've condensed the hole down. I'm just using my my carbon graphite paddle here to just bring it in like that. So now you can see that hole is a lot better looking, right? I'm going to try to round it up some. Actually, we'll just use the bowl pusher here. And we'll get that nice and molten. I'm just trying to round it out some like that. That way we can attach this together here. So now we're going to get both these pieces molten. And fuse them together. So I'm going to seal these together really well. That way it's a nice solid connection here. So I know those of you who may be glass artists watching me here, you're like, why are you working with such a small torch here? Well, I don't have my oxygen filled up, and I've been testing out the oxygen concentrator here to see what the limit is on this, you know? Like, I could try. I don't know. Could we? I don't know if we could actually run this torch here. It's a bigger torch. A little bit more flame there. You can see that. Yeah, actually, check that out. The oxygen concentrator is actually running at, oh, having some issues, keeping up, letting more propane out than the oxygen. It's not going to be able to handle that, I can tell. Got to bring the propane down to really, really match that. See that? See, the oxygen can't handle that at all. So we'll have to just use just the smaller one here. Let me reset that. Okay. So yeah, this will be interesting to see. Could we actually get this to work? Uh-oh. Oxygen not going to work anymore? It's so small, it's barely able to push that pressure there. Yeah, so I don't know if we're going to be able to do anything with this. But this will be pretty interesting to see. So those of you who are watching, welcome. I'm Dan the Glassman. You're watching the Glassman's World. Some of you may know me from other different social media on Facebook or Twitter, different places like that, on Twitch. Been blowing glass since 1995, and right now we're just kind of limited. I don't have my vehicle running, so I haven't had the oxygen tank refilled in a while, and haven't asked anyone to help me out or anything like that. So today we're going to try something a little bit new, a little different here. I'm going to try to blow glass, big old tube with a little torch here on top. I don't know if this is going to be possible. But if I can get this hot enough to blow it out some, that's all that'll be necessary. I'm going to try to blow out just the front tip of it here. That way we can thin it out, and then we're going to add some dot patterns. Pointillism, basically. If you know about artwork and what pointillism is, then basically you just make some sort of an image, picture, photograph, or design with a whole bunch of dots. So we're going to do that in glass here. So I was watching some Glassblowing by Eusheen just a moment ago. I just got inspired. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this off with such a small torch here. Well, we are getting it to blow out. So maybe we will be able to do something here. Also, I wonder how much propane I have. I haven't checked my propane in a while. It'd be funny if we get really close and then all of a sudden like, oh, done. Cool. We got a little bit of it blown out. That's gonna work out. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen. All right. So, what color are we gonna work? Got a lot of blue. Let's see. Maybe we'll do that. Alright, so the first trick is going to be adding some colored dots to the front of this bubble here. And the trick is getting them all about that same size. Alright, so now you can see that pattern there. Alright, so now I've added dots all the way around in a couple other places as well. Just melting them down into the tube here. Oh no. You have to wipe that piece off there. I accidentally touched some of the blue in a spot that I definitely don't want it in. So just removing that. That would throw off the whole pattern there. Alright. So now we got that pattern there, right? Now I'm thinking using this color here because it's already pulled. Although I think alright, let's do this. So now I'm just going to pull that to a point. That way I can use that for doing some smaller dots here. Okay. Gonna have to go in with an even smaller flame. So this takes a real steady hand, and as I can tell, I've become real shaky Oh, oh my God. I am so shaky. Oh, I see. All right, Eusheen. Woo. Okay. See if we can get that all back up to temperature here. Hopefully we don't lose it. Started noticing a little bit of cracking. I guess I didn't preheat it enough before I added those dots there. So we'll see. We'll see if I can save it or not. If not, we just start over again. This is the first time I've ever attempted to do this Eusheen design. Alright, so what I'm thinking is that those center dots need to be a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, thicker. And the rest of the dots, like, once I figured out, like, oh, I see, there's a pattern. You go around that first dot, and then you come down with a dot or two in between. So you got boom, and boom, inner ring. You got the outer ring here. And then that ring. I think once I started seeing it trying to crack, I was like, oh no. And I backed away from adding too many more dots. Oh shit, that's not even the right color. Oh well. That was the first attempt. This is going to have some chaos going on in it now, I guess. I added blue when it should have been the peacock. I don't know where I did that, but it is what it is. Alright, you guys. I'm going to melt this in now. Or attempt to. The first attempt at making some Eusheen glass here. I have to try to keep this nice and consistent on the meltdown with such a small flame. It's going to be a little hard to implode this. It's going to definitely be a slow implosion though. That's going to be nice. Nice and completely controlled. Dot pattern by dot pattern. So yeah, actually, it may work out just fine. So these pendants that Eusheen makes, you know, they're in the hundreds of dollar price range. I really don't know if anyone in my network is going to want to get up and jump into this new level of game. So basically what I'm doing here is I've been studying some other glass blowers I've been hearing of and watching what they're doing. I'm like, ooh, those are some beautiful techniques and patterns. Let me see if I can do anything similar to that. We'll up the glass game in 2023. We'll start doing something a little bit more impressive here. Do some really technical glass work. Also, as you can see, I'm working on tubing right here. So this is the first time in a really long time that I've done any kind of tubing work. And then this is the implosion. Let's see if I can even get this to melt down with such a small flame on top there. And with the oxygen concentrator, so we're not using any of the oxygen tank here. But it's really interesting. I'm able to actually get in there on each dot and truly sink it in that this is actually working. One dot at a time. Just slowly bring in all the other patterns. Wow. Alright. Thank you, Eusheen. Game on. So I don't know how long Eusheen's been blowing glass, but I've been in this game for about 27 years now. And it's really awesome to be able to see some other glass artists who are really stepping up the game and making stuff like this happen. Now, I don't know if Alright, so you can see the pattern there. Amazing, yeah? Too bad for that glare. So lots of big dots with little dots all in between there, guys. So as you can see, this is going to take quite a bit of time. This will probably be one of my first ever $200 pendants. And maybe being that it's the first one and it's got a little bit of mistakes, we'll see. We'll see what I let it go for. But this may be one of my very first $200 pendants. But we'll see. Maybe it'll only be $100. I think there's a couple steps that I might have needed to add at that point. Adding a little bit of the clear rod in. I think it's going to be fine. Keep that center dot in the center. So an implosion bead basically works where when you put the design on the outside of tubing, it's all bubbled out, right? It's all three-dimensional, it's knobbed out, you can feel it, it's got all that texture. But then you start melting it down and those knobs, they start to sink in to the wall of the glass. And then that glass actually becomes solid. It solidifies. So right now what I'm doing is I'm taking this little end right here and I'm solidifying it slowly, a little bit at a time. If we had a bigger flame, we'd be able to do this a lot quicker. So we're just gonna try. Let's see if we can make this happen with a small little torch. And I'm not sure if I'm going to turn this into a marble or if we're going to turn this into a pendant. I'm thinking a pendant, a necklace. I mean, there's only a few collectors out there, marble collectors, who would actually pay $200 for a marble of this quality here. So just a moment ago, I was watching Eusheen working at the Corning studio of glass, which is, I believe, in New York. And Corning, you know, people know of Corningware, they know Pyrex. Corning is the place that glass got really, really large, you know. In Jamestown, Virginia, actually was one of the first founding cities of glass blowing, and the 13 colonies were sustained by a lot of the glass blowing back then. You know, they had a lot of their windows, they had their glassware, all their you know, their cutlery, well, maybe not their cutlery, but you know, they had their dishes and drinking utensils and things like that made out of glass, you know. And then also the churches and all of their windows, their stained glass windows and things like that. So glass blowing actually helped to found our country here, the United States, and came from Murano, Italy. Came over here from that part of the world, you know. And before that, it came through all the way from Egypt And Egyptian glass, I believe, is one of the first and original glass that ever was. Also Chinese glass as well. Some of the oldest glass on the planet here. And it's really amazing to see how glass has evolved since then and what we've been able to do with it ever since then. And there are a lot of glass collectors out there now. A lot of individuals who they purchase a lot of different glass. And they have, you know, the different curio cabinets full of glass with all different artists, different variations from all over the world. Some people have their very, you know, have their own special glass artists that they like to collect from. They like to support. Others, you know, maybe they just collect glass from anywhere just because they love glass, you know. When I started blowing glass, I first started making pendants. And a lot of jewelry, a lot of necklaces, pendants, beads. Got into making pipes, so then I became a pipe maker. But I've always been a jeweler. Even before I got into glass blowing, I was a jeweler. I was a silversmith and goldsmith. So for me, I guess I've always been a jeweler. And that's why I love being able to make things like this, because this is, you know, this is amazing, phenomenal glass here. The implosion bead on something so large like this, you know, if I can really get this to pop and to really implode here, we're getting close, we're getting it all melted down, it's just taking some time. And I can't really bring up the flame much higher than that. That's about maxed out on that top torch there. So you can see now just how tiny all those little dots are. Well, you probably can't see. Maybe I can help to show you here. Let me see if we can do a little trickery here. I don't know if this will help. No, that doesn't help. What about this? Maybe this will help for you to see through the flame there. Let's see if this helps. A little bit. You can kind of see those dots there. On the dot work, it's a lot better than seeing that. Interesting. That glare, I'm like, oh, there you go. So you can kind of see that pattern there and all those dots. If I take it off the flame too much and I lose the heat, then you got to spend time to bring it back up to temperature there. So I'm trying to just keep it in the flame here and work this down as best as I can. Let's see if we can get this to implode. I don't know. We got to get all this clear glass to start moving around and coming back on the other side of it here to really get that implosion happening. It's coming out though. I can't believe I was able to work this big ass, I think it's a 38 millimeter heavy wall tubing. This isn't even the medium wall tubing that Eusheen recommends. He says it start out with like a 5.2 to 5.5 millimeter, I think, or no, 2.2 to 2.5. Heavy wall is 4.0 or 4.4, I think. So he normally starts with half the thickness, which then at that point, you know, the glass would really melt down a lot easier. But I don't have any medium wall sheathing. All I have is the heavy wall. Wow, but I can really see that pattern coming in now. Doing that dot pattern, I mean, you got to get that perfect to make it look the way he makes it look. I had it looking good until I messed up and added the wrong color. We'll see how that looks, though. It's going to have some kind of interesting chaos pattern going. Alright, so 2023 is finally about to dawn on us, guys. Pretty crazy. We've been through several years of crazy roller coaster ride. You know, I guess that's the best I can say. It's been one hell of a roller coaster ride since about 2018, 2019. With everything, you know, starting to happen during the whole popcorn flu season and all the e-cigs getting blamed for epidemic of the flu season hitting during 2018 and then 2019, you know, everyone getting sick, and then 2020, basically it was deemed that the whole world was sick and needed to get inoculated, or else the whole world was doom and gloom, right? And then, several years later, we all come to find out in this year, 2022, that everything that they were pushing on us, all of the information was all hidden, was all suppressed, that we don't know any difference between, you know, what they were showing us compared to what they were saying, and what's real, what's not, you know, what's been redacted. Lots of information, guys. Lots of information was hidden since the get-go, and the truth is finally being revealed and finally out. But because it's such an inhumane thing that has occurred, and with all of this information that's been suppressed, and all of us that unable to get the true information, the proper information, a lot of people just don't believe it. They're going to have a hard time believing that any of what we're saying these days is real. And, you know, it's ridiculous to see that, you know, huge countries such as China, they shut down everyone. they got everyone locked down and they forced everyone to go get those inoculations. And now, after that's been done, you know, you would think that they protected everyone, everyone's good to go. Well, now they're having this huge surge of a whole nother wave of new cases coming out. And it's really hard for people to understand what's really happening and why. What's going on? Why is this happening? And a lot of people are having a hard time fathoming that maybe, just maybe, it has to do with what everyone got pushed into, forcing everyone to get something experimental, getting an emergency use authorized treatment done, even though there were other treatments available. They just suppressed it all. They said it didn't work, none of that worked. But now we've come to find out a lot of it actually did work. And it's just amazing to think that the world was duped with falsified information, with falsified, which means it's fraudulent documents, you know? And a lot of people aren't even talking about that, you know? Like, this is one of the largest frauds ever committed on the planet with so many people, but no one wants to talk about it because a lot of individuals got duped into it. And it's hard to think, man, was I really suckered into this? Like, no one wants to think that. No one wants to think they got suckered into something. And that's hard. And it's a reality that we're now having to face, and we all have to deal with. You know, it's not just those who got it, but everyone else also now has to deal with it. This is all going to affect us all in some way through, you know, different types of shedding and things like that with the proteins. And so it's amazing that, you know, this year is over, but there's so much more to come for 2023. We're now just getting into our winter season here, and so much has been occurring with just with individuals who are having to deal with like this historic blizzard, the historic blizzard of 2022, and yeah, it's pretty wild. It's really wild, this roller coaster ride that we've all been on, all together. Yeah, I really don't know if this one's going to implode like it should be. This flame is not going to cut it, I don't think. It's going to make a beautiful pattern, though. That's for sure. It's going to actually start sinking it in here. Somehow we're going to turn this pattern inside out, flip it. take forever. Good thing we're just going to turn this into a pendant. I'm not going to try to round this up into a marble. Or it'll be here until next year. So this is working here. We're going to get this. Slowly slip in and over and into itself, and we're going to get this pattern to implode somehow. So yeah, I've been thinking about this year a little. I mean, since the get-go of it all, I've been kind of watching what's been going on and warning others of what's going on and what to expect. And, you know, a lot of people have shut me down on things, but it's all right, because all I'm trying to do is share whatever knowledge that I can, and I know that that's the right thing to do. So if people want to shut me down for sharing knowledge, then that's on them, not on me, because I'll just continue sharing what I know, you know, because I'm just hoping that it helps out. It's beneficial for others to be able to know what's going on instead of just being in the dark and not really being aware. Well, this pattern is definitely starting to come together. It's just taking a minute to flip it over and make it real small into itself. That's the trick now, is just getting this to all come in. And I've got some issues with the torch because we're maxing out the oxygen and propane ratio here. So this is pretty much the best I can do with what I got here. But it's working. I am really impressed that I was able to blow out this tube just to begin with. And we got that pattern in there. I don't know if you can see that. It's coming. Got to slowly flip it around onto itself. So now we've got this blue, and we've got this other blue, and now we got to decide what the background's going to be. We could also keep it clear. Maxing this out here. No, I can't go any further. The flame was flashing up. Little by little. So we almost got all the dots flipped over onto the back side here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but the pattern is pretty much all over on this side now. So going from the whole outer perimeter of that bubble, it's now been like shrunk in, and then also like kind of it's compressing or condensing into itself, or imploding. That's why it's called an implosion. Implosion, constriction, condension. Yeah, if I can get that dot pattern to really, really flip around and get in there nice and small, it's gonna look good. It's just gonna take some time. Little by little. Yeah, that center honeycomb or flower there, that's really, really small. That's nice and tight. That's what I'm looking for in this. Definitely. Alright, so we've been in it for an hour now. I was thinking if I could get this done within an hour, maybe we could keep it under $100. Alright, for those of you who are just barely now getting here, tuning in, watching, you're the Glassman. You're watching the Glassman's World. And we are got inspired by Eusheen. If you know the glass artist that goes by the name of Eusheen, that's the Eusheen, I believe. He does some amazing dot work. And so I just got a little inspired by his work and wanted to see, can I even come close to what Eusheen can make? So we're working on this, even though we aren't really ready. We weren't set up or prepared for any of this. I didn't even have any tube really, but luckily I was able to find this tube here. And then also, I can't really work tube because I got such a small torch here. We're working an old school Nortel with the National 3A on top for the with the surface mix or pre-mix, and then the major head, which is an old school square head on the bottom. This is an old school torch I got way back in 1999. This was made in the 90s, guys. This torch is over 20 years old, almost 25 years old probably. It's been in my possession for at least 20 years. 23, 24. Wow, this is slowly happening, guys. Gardenia Glass is making Eusheen glass right here. Woo. I hope Eusheen is alright with others, you know, trying to replicate, because, oh my God, this guy's a master at what he does. Like, I hope he takes this as a compliment. I'm not trying to bite your work. I'm just trying to see, can I even touch what you can do? You're a master, man. What you do is amazing, and I don't even know how long you've been on the torch, but you know, I got 27 years down, and you probably are less than me, and you look young, and it looks like you've just been working this glass and having fun playing with the pattern, and you got a nice steady hand. I'm a little shaky. I'm just like all putting on those dots. Yeah, right out of high school, I started blowing glass. So that'll give you a little clue on how old I am. I haven't been live on YouTube in a while. I wasn't sure if my phone or the memory or what was going on, but I didn't know. Last time I tried to go live, it just shut down. So I was like, we'll see if this works. If not, it's okay. But recently I've been going live on Facebook, and I've been doing I have a new group called Cooking with the Glassman, so you can find that out there. And that's the Glassman in the little quotation marks. The Glassman, all one word. The and Glassman is all combined. There's no space in between there. It's just the Glassman. It's not the Glassman. It's the Glassman. I did that for so you can find it. It's a key word, a key phrase, so it's easier to Google if you look up my name like that instead of putting all the spaces, or else you're gonna start finding a bunch of individuals who make like windshields, or they install like home glass and things like that, or they're stained glass artists, you know, different other types of artists. So I wanted to make sure you could find me, so that's why it's the Glassman, all one word in quotations, to give you that little bit of an edge on being able to find me there. And this is the Glassman's world, so welcome back to those of you who come in and join me on occasion. I've been building up this channel for quite some time now, but only in the last year or so, since about 2022, is when I really started to focus on trying to be consistent with uploading videos or going live, which I thought I actually needed 1,000 subscribers to go live, but turns out you need 1,000 subscribers and a good amount of playtime to become monetized. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm not concerned about being monetized yet. Maybe later on, maybe if I blow up or something like that. But right now, it's all about just sharing out this content for free, sharing what I love, the things that are surrounding my world, the Glassman's world. So that's what this is all about. So thank you guys so much for tuning in or returning and coming back and watching. I really do appreciate the love and support. Alright, we're slowly getting this pattern flipped over. I don't know if you can see now, but that pattern, that honeycomb in the center has gotten way small, and we pretty much got the whole thing now, all the way around. We just got to make sure we get all those dots, and then it's just going to take some time on letting it allow to just constrict in and condense down. You know, another thing would be, I could turn this into a beautiful jar. We could just take the top off there and turn this into a beautiful nug jar. I don't have any corks or any way to close it up though. But that would be beautiful. This is going to be a lot of fun, guys. Making some more intricate work for 2023. And really trying to bring my game up so I can get featured on some of these other glassblowing channels and stuff. You know, there's a lot of glassblowers out there who they get featured, and they've been in the game a lot less time than I have. And there's even some local artists here who, you know, he's been working a few years less than I have, and he's really come up in the game and really made a beautiful name for himself. You know, I support him all the time as much as I possibly can. You know, I share out his posts, and you know, it's really good. I've known this individual since high school, and then to watch him make glass and to see him make some items that, you know, I got into making. I thought I was the only one for a while. And then he started to represent, you know, like the glass hot air balloons and Christmas ornaments. But of course, you know, being in Albuquerque, you got to make glass hot air balloons. And always, if you're a glass artist, you definitely got to make Christmas ornaments and things for Christmas. So, you know, that was just a given. Like, kind of expected that, you know. And I'm not saying that he was copying me or anything at all. I'm just saying that for a while there, I was the only one making glass hot air balloons and Christmas ornaments in Old Town. You know, I was doing a lot of live glass blowing demonstrations and had a huge audience around me. And now he's doing the same thing. It's really cool to be able to see the other glass artists, locals especially. And especially someone who I knew before either of us were even glass blowers, you know? So that's really cool to see how we both have grown into exceptional glass artists here locally, and now we can create that friendly competition, which is no real competition at all. It's just he does what he does, I do what I do. And maybe every once in a while we'll be at like the same market together or something like that. But. And another thing too is he's got like a whole entire like team. He's got a whole entire glass studio that he's working in these days, and you know, it's really amazing. You know, this is almost a good size for a shot glass. Alright, let's see if I can really condense all this on the outside back in. You know, doing it this slow like this, it actually condenses it to a point where it doesn't mash it all in. It keeps the detail. I really love that, actually. You know, if I would have done this a lot faster, this detail would have gotten all mashed in. And at the end of it, Eusheen, he actually pulls it all. But this works so lovely right here. This looks really good too. You know, I can really see this. Wow, it's amazing to see how tiny those dots get from the beginning on where we started until now. Sorry about that torch, man. I'm really maxing it out. I'm really pushing this little 12-volt point head on here. I seriously am. Almost got the pattern all the way flipped. It's almost not touching the edge at all. It's so close to being fully flipped. Yeah, that pattern is amazing. I don't know if you can see that. That's really awesome. Alright, see if I can get this outside to come in more. The inside looks great, it's just that outside it needs to be condensed a lot more smaller. Just a little patience, a lot of heat, a lot of flame, a lot of small, concise, precise torch work here. Going around that edge. Slowly working that pattern in to the center there. This is also a good workout. I've been wanting to really try to push my my arm here and rebuild it back up on my right arm. So, you know, I kind of took a nice break since about Christmas, maybe a week or so. Yeah, we're really gonna just condense this down now. It's at that point where I believe it's fully flipped, and it's now on the bottom of the pendant here, or the bottom of this tube. Now, the question is, like, okay, we can either keep it like this as a shot glass, like I said. The only thing is the inside needs to be more concave. Or we pull it off like a pendant, which is what we've been talking about since the get-go. Man, that center pattern is so tiny now compared to how it was. Alright, well now this is just going to be patience here. I'm just going to hold it here at this angle until we bring it all in. I may have to switch my arm if my right arm starts giving me issues. But you know what? I'm actually not noticing my right arm right now. I haven't noticed it this whole time working with something so big like this. I'm pretty impressed, actually. Maybe I can get into doing the UFOs again. Maybe I can build up my arm and get it working again properly. We'll see. Those of you who don't know, if I hold my arm up like this for too long, usually it starts to like constrict or something happens, and then these two fingers right here, they start to go numb first, and if I don't start to like release it and stretch it out and, you know, switch over to the left arm, then these fingers go numb and the rest of my hand goes numb, and then it's really hard to spin the glass into place. So it's something that I've been dealing with in the last few years, something new that just recently started happening. So I can't make the big things like I used to. But if I can build this back up and we can get this to work again, maybe I actually can. You know, maybe doing some things like this. And then don't overpush myself, like, you know, maybe this is the only thing that I work on today. The last piece of 2022. You know, it'd be really cool if I could figure out how to make a basketball pattern. And then my oldest sister, she collects shot glasses, and she's a Lakers fan, and it would be really cool if I could make a purple and gold ball in the bottom like this here. I don't think I can replicate the Lakers logo, but that'd be dope. You have to write backwards. So that's the only thing that makes it hard to do that. You have to write backwards so then you can read it from the front this way. So that's the hard thing about that. Oh yeah, but those dots on the outside are finally getting smaller, like the ones in the center here. I think we're finally getting it to move over. Like I said, it's just going to take a lot of patience, being that it's a small torch. You know, we're working with this 12-hole point torch here. So do the best I can. Woo, it's getting hot. Oh, sorry about that. That means it's 4:20, guys. That's the 4:20 alarm clock. Usually that means have a quick smoke and time to go. Usually I gotta go get my daughter from school every other week at this time. But she is out for winter break for the holidays. And she's with her mama. So I don't have to worry about going to pick her up, catching a bus or anything like that right now. and be a little bit more patient with this. We're gonna just get it to come in a little bit more, a little smaller, all of it together. And then I'm gonna debate, am I gonna put something on the back of it, or am I gonna keep it clear so you can actually see through it? So that way, you know, depending on what you're wearing, if you got a black shirt, the black will come through it. If you got a blue shirt, the blue will come through it. A red shirt, red will come through it. You know, it might look really nice, you know, because there's blue, and a lot of people wear white t-shirts, and that might look really, really nice. And it's got that turquoise blue or that peacock blue in there, and on black, that should really pop and make that other blue pop as well. But we won't know until we actually have it cooled off and up against something black, and that's if we don't put a background on it. If I put a background on it, then that's what it'll always be. I can put a cobalt background, I can put a white background. Probably not cobalt because there's already blue on there. So maybe white or maybe red. But then at that point, it's a lot more melting of glass and working all that color glass into the clear glass here. And it takes a lot of time to do that. And I'm thinking, we've already worked on this long enough. It's already an hour and a half. By the time we're done with this, it's going to be 2 hours. I may have to ask for that $200 for this pendant. You're probably wondering how am I going to turn this into a pendant? It's on the tube here. There's a few different ways to do that. Now I'm just using a paddle to kind of push over the side a little bit and try to force some of this clear glass to just fold over down underneath. Kind of forcing that pattern in a little bit more. I'm like debating, should I add the white on the back of it? I just save it, see how it looks, and then don't make one of these again until I actually get oxygen in the tank. So I have the proper, get the proper heat going, and it can actually work these down a lot faster instead of in 2 hours. I'm debating if I want to fume it here, which I'm thinking that'll actually look really dope, just to fume it, and then we can take it off of the tube here. So fuming is using a little bit of metal, silver or gold. I think I have a little bit of silver on here. Try to see if it pops out. clip off a chunk of silver, so I'm just seeing if there's any left over on any of these pieces here. I think there's some. Alright, there we go. Just enough. I didn't want to have to put this down and everything. Alright. I'll just make sure that fume is on there. Yeah, that looks nice. See how it's got that metallic to it now? So that's going to look real nice through there. So now the trick is flipping it over. You're going to get a punchy. I'm going to clean this off so it's nice clean tip. We can add it to this here or get this nice and warm. Put it on like that. Alright, so there's a couple ways to make this happen. I don't know if I have the torch strength to blow it out thin enough. I might have to just heat it up, pop a hole, and then cut it. Alright, so we're just going to cut it. And then we're going to heat up the hole here. And hopefully we can pull it apart. Alright, well, that didn't work. It's not thin enough to do what I was hoping for. I'm going to have to blow it out some. Maybe. If I can pull this, don't want to lose it off the punchy though. Like I said, I wasn't prepared to do this. I don't have the proper torch strength. So I'm just going to try to pull this apart and see if I can get my trick to work where I can leave this hole. There we go. I can leave the hole with the torch. And just like that. Alright, I don't know where we're going to set this. Just place that right in there. Alright, so now you can see that pattern work on the inside. We got to then clean up all this on the outside here. So this will take a little bit of work. This is just simply going in and getting a piece of glass and just wiping it. I'm just following the whole perimeter of it here. We're getting that glass molten, all that little excess glass, and then I'm just using this extra piece, and we're just kind of rolling it onto it, just wiping it. So this definitely is not Eusheen level glass, that's for sure. I definitely am not getting anywhere close to what Eusheen can do with this piece here. Well, I mean, I guess I'm getting closer to it than some would. It's not the easiest thing to do. Trying to wipe it all to where it's the same thickness all the way around. Sorry, I went quiet on you. I'm just trying to do some technical wiping up and cleaning up of this glass. Try not to lose all that fuming on the back side as well. Alright, Alright, so now what I've done is I wiped it all clean. I don't know if you see that. From the tubing, and now you can see all that pattern work in there, all flipped over with the seam work on the front there. So now I just got to melt this down and round it all back out. And then we can put a loop on it. This definitely is not Eusheen quality glass, though, that's for sure. But this has been fun, giving it a try, seeing if I could do anything close to what he can do. I mean, that guy is a master at what he does. Quite amazing. I love watching other glass artists and seeing what they can do. It's really cool. So we're just going to melt this down here. And turn it into a pendant. We'll add a loop on it. You know, had I decided to just leave it as a shot glass, we could have simply just taken it off the tube, opened up the other end, cleaned that up really easily, and called it a day. But with all of this extra wiping and everything, it's going to take a little bit more time. Hopefully we have the propane. Hopefully we have the fuel and we can get this all done. So we'll see. Another thing I was watching recently is putting opals into glass, which I've got a whole bunch of opals here, and we're going to set them into glass really soon. So all this right here is a whole bag full of opals, guys. I don't know if you can see that. So those are all preset for me, and I'm going to be putting them into marbles or different earrings or different things like that. So 2023 will be a lot of fun with the different types of glass that I'll be bringing. And we'll be doing some more of this real detailed type of work here. But thank you for tuning in and watching if you're watching. Let's see, we got someone here. You're welcome to comment below. Comment on the live chat. So this is taking a long time because I'm working with the this 12-hole point torch tip on top, and it really doesn't have the power that I really need. You know, and then we're pushing the that oxygen concentrator to the max. We're really maxing this thing out today to see what we can do in glass. So this has been a journey. It's almost 2 hours now. We're only 5 minutes away. I don't think we're going to get this done in 5 minutes. We're just melting away here, just trying to get this rim all melted down. It's kind of cool looking like that too, with that rim on the outside, but it's not so consistent. Okay, I guess we might have lost our feed there for a minute. I'm sorry if I lost you. Looks like we had a viewer and then the viewer is gone. So sorry about that. We're at the hour and 57 mark on here, so I don't think it's started over completely. I I don't know if I'm at the limit now with my memory, so this video might get cut, guys. If it does, I just want to wish you a happy new year, happy 2023. I hope that it's a lot better for us all. I pray that it's a lot better for us all. I really do. Torch mix is a little bit too crazy here. I'm really trying to push this as hard as I can. We got an oxygen concentrator that's working overtime here. And I haven't learned how to push the oxygen concentrator into another a pressurized tank or anything like that to actually bring up the pressure. I don't know if that's even something that I can do or not. But it's slowly coming together, guys. I'm sorry it's taking longer than 2 hours. We're at that 2-hour mark here. I really wish I could just bring this up so much more. So, also, just wanted to mention today officially marks my 7 year of no drinking, no alcohol. 7 years of not drinking, guys. I still partake in the ganja, but I feel that's medicine more so than just recreational. You know, I don't do that to party. That's more for relaxing and stress relief and you know, just keeping the endocannabinoid system going. So I don't really consider that to be still using a substance, but many others who celebrate their sobriety, they don't like it if you're not 100% sober. So I just say that this is my 7-year mark of being alcohol free. And I officially celebrated on the 1st, so I will officially celebrate that tomorrow. For the 1st of the year, it's a lot easier for me to remember. And also, it's just good to start on the 1st, the first day of the year, the first year. Also, the reason why I don't celebrate it on the 31st is because on the 30th of 7 years ago, 8 years ago, however long, I actually went out drinking. So I feel like I woke up on the 31st still with alcohol in my system, that I wasn't fully sober on the 31st, that, you know, I was still moving that alcohol out. I woke up with a hangover. And then 7 years ago, it was the first time ever since I was like 16 years old that I had no party to go to. I didn't have any invitations. No one invited me out because I had been basically focused on my Krishna consciousness, and I wasn't too concerned about going out and partying and those kind of things. So I lost a lot of my supposed friends. So I found out later in time that a lot of them were just, you know, my drinking buddies, my drinking pals. You know, they didn't want to drink alone, so they always had me to call on. And as soon as they didn't have me to drink with them, they quit calling on me. It's pretty interesting how that works. So you lose a lot of friends, and you get a lot of ridicule from individuals who think, oh, this is just a fad, he's going to go back to drinking. And so I'm really proud to say, you know, after 7 years of not drinking, I never slipped. I never even had one sip of alcohol. You know, the only type of alcohol I guess that I've had would be, you know, imitation vanilla in cookies or in cake. You know, some people say, oh, well, cheese is fermented, and anything that's fermented has alcohol in it. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess you're getting a little crazy there. And also, you know, there's some medicines that are homeopathic that are made with, you know, tinctures. You know, they're made with alcohol. And so I've taken tinctures in this time, but, you know, it's not to get drunk. It's not about losing my sobriety. That was about being healthy and about, you know, boosting my immune system or whatever it was that I took was, you know, to help out with some sort of a cold or some sort of an ailment. So I don't consider that sort of alcohol consumption to be something that then you have to start over again, like, oh, day one again, all over. Like, no, I think once you get to a point where you know, I don't need to drink anymore. I can go into the alcohol section. I can look at all the different varieties of alcohol. I can see what's new. I can check out the different bottling that they've done. Like, it doesn't affect me. I can go to a bar. I can order a beer for a friend, carry it, walk it over. You know, it doesn't affect me. I don't feel the urge like, oh, let me just get one sip, because I know that if I take that one sip, it's going to be, let me just get one quick gulp. And that's what I know, is that I like the taste of alcohol. I like the flavor of beer, and I enjoyed getting drunk. And so I know that I just don't want to be a part of it anymore. And so now it doesn't affect me, you know. I can be around it, and it doesn't make me feel like, oh, I need to get drunk, or I want to get drunk. But I'm over it. I don't feel the desire to get all shit-faced anymore like I used to. And that's a really, really amazing thing for me to be able to say, because I never, ever thought I'd be able to quit drinking. I never even knew that would become part of my life. So, you know, it's a big deal for me to be able to say that tomorrow I'll be celebrating 7 years of no alcohol, and I've done it without having a sip. You know, without wanting that whole, you know, that feeling of I need to get drunk again. Like that's been removed and completely away, and I feel free from that that beast, that demon. Like, it was something that I really, I didn't feel I had control over, and I really felt that I needed to remove it from my life because it wasn't doing me any good. And ever since I quit, you know, I learned just how much more money I have to spend on things like, you know, if I wanted to go out and enjoy, instead of going out and drinking a bunch of beer after working on a full day. I could go out and enjoy a nice dinner, a nice meal. I could go, buying myself a nice gift or something, like, every day I was drinking. When I used to drink, I figured I probably put down at least $20 in beer every day. Every beer was $4, and then you leave $1 tip, so that's $5. So easily four beers after a day's work. That was my beer diet, at least. I don't know about anyone else, but that's what I would put down. And then sometimes, I would have company with me and would treat someone else to drinks or something like that. And then that bill would really get expensive, you know what I mean? And instead of spending $20, then you're spending like $40. Or then, sometimes then you get a little carried away when you got someone with you. You start getting those shots of Patron, and you're like buying, $10 shots. The next thing you know, you're spending close to $100 instead of $20 on yourself. And so it's, it feels good to be away from that trap of just, I don't know if it was that I felt the need to always drink, but it just became a habit. It was the ritual de lo habitual. It was a daily ritual that it became routine. It became a part of my life. It's like you wake up, you go to the bathroom, you get ready for the day, you drink some water, certain things people do. Some people pray in the morning before they eat. Some people just get up right away and start eating and not really give thanks or any sort of gratitude or anything like that. It's quite interesting. The different ritual de lo habituals that everyone has, the daily habits, the rituals and the habits that we have on a daily that we do, Some people, their whole thing is vanity and making sure that they look good, so they got themselves in front of the mirror, making sure that their hair is perfect, their face is perfect, everything's perfect, but yet they don't have a perfect diet. Look good on the outside, but not so healthy on the inside. Man, I am so close. This has finally been flipped over entirely. And I gotta admit, this isn't the implosion that I was hoping for. I was really hoping to get this to condense way small. I would have been here for 3 hours though, had I continued to just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. So we definitely need to get the oxygen tank in here for 2023. We need to get the vehicle running. I'm tired of not having a vehicle, so I need to really put some time, money, energy into getting the vehicle running. And hopefully we can be back on the road again this year. And that way we can actually go on some journeys. We got to go visit the kids' Nana and go on some road trips here soon. There's lots of different things that need to happen for 2023. Oh my gosh, we're so close to getting this completely rounded, guys. Finally. It only took 3 hours to make one pendant. But I really just wanted to try out this pattern. The pattern is what it's all about. The pendant's going to still be the same kind of pendant, but to be able to put those dots in there with all those other dots in there, I don't know if you can see that. I don't really know if you can really see the true depth and dimension of that. This thing is a beauty. When you really, really look at it, it's like, whoa, how did all those little dots get in there? You know, I was even thinking about adding a little bit of blue on the outside of this. But man, that's going to be even more work, more time. I'm actually hungry. I need to stop and get myself some lunch, guys. It's almost dinner time probably. We already heard the 420 alarm. I haven't even had lunch yet. And we haven't had a smoke break for 420. Alright, but I'm going to round this up perfectly. I'm feeling the heat in here, guys. Alright, so we're getting this rounded. We're getting the top nice and rounded, all lensed out. I'm really trying to get it centered here, so I'm just being patient as best as I can be. Yeah, that looks nice and round on the front there. It's got a slight wobble. I don't know if you can see. It's like thick on the top right there, thick on the bottom. See that? Those are those slight little things. It's like if you just keep that heat in there a little bit longer, you can get all that to move. So then it's fully, like, truly domed out. 100%. Nice, perfect, rounded dome. You know, adding that fuming back there instead of the white cut a lot of time, so that really helped. Really like that I did that. Alright, now we're going to get some cobalt blue, the same cobalt that we used in the center. And we're going to add a loop or a veil on top right here. And we're going to add this in a way. It's a new technique that I'm working on here. we're going to do is melt this down so we have a really, really nice connection here. Like that. And then I'm just going to pull this off, just like this. Alright, so I'm basically just rounding it up, right? And then I'm going to take my tweezers here and we're going to flatten it like that. This is the new style loop or bell that I've been working on recently. I really like these. Then it's all flat. You see that? Nice and flat. And then I just pull it from where the pendant is, right on top. I melt down that where the connection is right there, right? You melt that down, start to pull it forward. And then you roll it onto itself, like that, see? Let's pull it forward first, and then you just force that right over onto itself. Now we're going to go with a real small flame to really, really work this. I want to make sure I keep the pendant warm too. We don't want any of this to crack on us. I'm going to heat up the whole thing here. So now I'm just going to use my tool here to kind of open it up, stretch it out some, and form the loop so the cord can get in here. Oxygen concentrator is beeping at me, giving me a warning. telling me you better hurry up. Just kidding. I don't know why. Well, maybe we bring it down some. And it'll stop that. Stop that now. Alright, so see, we're just going to clean that up a little bit on the back side here. Alright, now we're going to really go in there with a tight flame and clean up this whole back side of the cobalt here. Really get it fused on. There we go. I'm just going to open up this front just a little bit more. It's amazing, I've been in here this whole time just working on this one pendant. I think we're done. I think we are finally done. I think I'm happy with that. Alright, there you go. I don't know if you can see all that dot work in there or not. Yeah, you can't. That's sad. You can't see the detail. All that dot work that's around all those other dots. So we're going to play with this pattern a lot more, guys. We're going to really, really get this to work and see if I can get some glass to turn out looking just like Eusheen's. We'll find out. We'll see. Can I pull it off? Uh-oh. We also sealed that right on there. Let me see if I can. No. Darn, we have to pull that off. I was just going to mess with the fume. I'm going to do my best to wipe this clean without losing that fume. bare minimum. Yeah, that looks good. I mean, compared to what it was. Wow. Very minimal. There wasn't too much of the fume getting wiped off, so that's really awesome. Alright, well, I wish you guys could see it a lot closer and get all those little dots going around there. That does not do justice at all. Alright, well, I'm Dan the Glassman. You're watching the Glassman's World, and it's way past 420. We're about to make that happen. Gonna drop this in the kiln. Woo! It's hot in there. That's got to be hot enough. Kiln's got to be up to 10. Oh yeah. Perfect. So we'll let that cook for a moment. Oh, I wish I had something to smoke in here. But I'm just going to get going. I'm going to let y'all go. But thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. This is the last glass blowing session of 2022 from the Glassman. I'm Dan the Glassman. This is the Glassman's World. We'll see you again soon. Love and blessings.